Hey everyone, it's Steve Severs for Bionic Buzz. We're here at San Diego Comic-Con 2024. It's going to be an amazing time. Now, before we get started, please help us out by hitting that subscribe button. Now, let's go see who we can talk to. All right, so it's based on a book. Can you mind describing that, and how did you discover about this?
So it's based on a series of 6 books that were written back starting in the 80s, going through to the late 90s. These books were written or co-authored by Arthur C. Clarke and Paul Preuss, and they follow this character named Sparta, who is a biomechanically amnestic individual who was held by this evil cabal with plans to take over the galaxy, and she is now trying to figure out and muddle her way through her past, figure out who she was and her identity going forward, as she is also kind of going to save the world.
Yeah. How did you discover about the book?
It was brought to us from our agent and our manager, Alan Morell. He put the books down in front of us and said, hey, I've got some project for you. It's really cool. It's got a great pedigree. It comes from one of the big 3 of sci-fi. And the producers at the time still are involved, but they were curious to hear what our take would be on adapting this for television. Yeah.
I know it's early in the developmental stages. When is it planned to come out?
We're going to be going to camera at the end of this year, and our intention is to premiere next year here at Comic-Con to give all of the fans, the first sneak peek in the world.
Is there a social media website where fans can stay up to date?
Yeah, absolutely. For all information, Arthur C. Clarke's Venus Prime, check us out on Instagram at Venus Prime Series, or you can go to venusprime.tv.
Jonathan couldn't make it here today, but what was it like working here with him so far?
Jonathan's been, I would say, a dream to work with. I know it's so funny we keep using this word dream, he and I back and forth, but he is just one of those people where there's no drama with him. He's there to do the work. He's super excited about all of this. Our first phone call with him, he was so effusive with praise. It's so nice. Most times you jump on a call with people that are coming on board a project and they're like, okay, here's what I want to change. Instead, he just showered us with praise for about 15 minutes, and he's like, so when are we going to go to camera with this, right? Which, don't get me wrong, there's things we want to change and work on together and build it up, but he's really funny, he's really lovely, and for me it's been a bit of a dream because I grew up watching Star Trek Next Generation, and so it's one of those things where you're like, oh god, I'm meeting one of my legends, what's this going to be like? And I'm not just meeting him, but I'm working with him. But yeah, he's been so awesome.
All right, my friend, when did you first learn about this book series?
I learned for this book series through it sounds sort of corporate, but through my business manager. He was just like, one of my clients loves this book and would love to see it made into a series. Can you read it? And I do this a lot. Like, he sends me books, and sometimes they're good, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, exactly. But I read Venus Prime. It was a great story by Arthur C. Clarke, who's one of the sort of he wrote 2001: A Space Odyssey, 2010: A Space Odyssey, 3001. Wow. And he's such a great writer, and it was a story about sort of a vulnerable woman who's been biomechanically enhanced, held captive by a corporation run by a kind of an evil corporate guy who's putting chips in people's brains. Maybe has a parallel with today a little.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and it was written 40 years ago. There's a lot of really interesting innovations that are now out there that this book has. It's really incredible, prescient. And she escapes her captors and goes on the run and is chased and pursued as she tries to find her real parents and her origin story. So it's dark, it's got a very Fargo feel, a bit of a James Bond feel, but it's also a science fiction and crime story, so with a mystery. I've never really seen a show like this, So it could be really fun. I think it's going to be really great.
Well, you got Jonathan, who's going to be directing, who's been doing a lot lately in that, Star Trek, Strange New World. I think he did some Picard stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it like been working with him so far? I know you haven't really shot yet, but...
He's as nice as you imagine. Honestly, it's like a B12 shot when you hang out with him. It really is. He loves his journey. His quote was, I'm a C-list celebrity with A-list profile. Who does that after 30 years of really being pretty up there? And as a result, me as an executive producer, and this is my Comic-Con exclusive, is that we are doing a worldwide casting for our female lead, the lead of the series, Sparta. So if you're an actress, submit for our show.
Where could they submit?
Well, we have not officially announced it yet, but you will. If you follow up, it'll be very public, and we're going to do that. So this can't air for like 12 hours.
Okay.
Narrator, it in fact aired in 6 hours.
No.
No. But it's, yeah. So it's, we're filming it in Canada this winter. We have a volume wall. Jonathan is our guy. He is really enthusiastic. He's bringing on board all these people that want to work with him because his motto is "Don't stop the fun train." Like he's just no drama. He hasn't got time for it.
We should live life.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Let's make magic. Let's make people happy and think. And
Well, I can't wait to see it, my friend. Keep up the amazing
What a pleasure.
work.
I didn't get your name.
Steve.
Steve
From Bionic Buzz.
Bionic Buzz.
Nice
Pleasure
to
to
meet
meet you,
you.
Steve.
Take
Thanks so
care.
much. Thanks, guys.